Page 54 on Wings of Song. This is a nice little arrangement of a vocal solo that Mendelssohn did. Franz Liszt wrote a really nice solo arrangement of this for piano. I did a recording of that on my other channel. I'll try to put a link in the description, but there's a number of recordings of this available so you can hear how it goes and how fast it goes and so forth. It's just a really sweet piece. This is one of the things I did for the piano club. They seem to enjoy it, I guess. I don't know. Let's talk about this. It's in 6/8 time, and it's in the key of G major. This arrangement is. It has a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 6. So it's 6, 1, 2. And the fingering there at the beginning for the B's, you have 3 B's in a row. The first one's 5th finger. Then I recommend a 4, 3. Because you need 3 on that third one to put you in position. So why not? 1, 2. Second full measure there, reach down and put second finger on the F sharp. And then it's the end of a phrase, lift up. And then they're fingering 3, 2. Then an 8th rest at the end of the line. And then at the third line, I recommend a 3, 2, 1, 3. On the B's, 3, 2, 1, 3. So you don't use the same finger all the time. Now the second measure, look out because we're syncopated. The D's tied. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the others, that's 5 and 6 there, so watch it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I don't know why they've slurred this way, because in my mind, all of that should be slurred together at the last 2 notes of the second measure there and the next measure. I'd slur all that together. And then the phrase ends at the F sharp on the 4th line. And then it's up here. The little grace note, real quick. I play it on the beat. Some people play it before the beat. I'm not getting into it. You'll decide how you're going to do it. But I do this on the beat. And I'm going to do them all the same way. And then going on, this is about it. The 16th note's up there at the top of page 55. So then we're in 6/8 time, so that's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and like so. Next line. Then lift up to the end of a phrase and go back down. And this is like it was at the beginning, except now we got the octaves going on. The last 2 notes is D, D. Lift up, it's 2 notes slurred, down, up. And next line, it's again D, D. And then there's a fermata, okay. And then going on. And I would slur all these together if I could. And then you can lift up in the last line. And then lift up again. And you're dying away and slowing down. And then the left hand. Let's talk about left hand. For the most part, the left hand is just supporting it, because the melody's in the right hand, so just follow their fingering if you want. If you don't want to put a thumb on that F sharp, you got to do a 5, 3, 2. I'll leave that up to you. Remember the F sharp in second line? And then this. You work that out. There's nothing really tricky about it going on here. And the next to the last line down there on page 54, second measure, you got treble clef here. So it's a D, F natural. Last line still treble clef. I do a 5, 2 here. And then back to the D, F. And then a 5, 2 again. And then at the top of page 55, 2, 1 or 3, 1, it's up to you. I like 2, 1. And then 4, 2 for the D sharp, F sharp. And then 3, 1. And then they say a 4, 1. You can do a 5, 4-2, 5-1. Find that a little easier. And then the bass clef comes back. Now, the last two lines down there, let's look at these. The first note is the left hand. It's a D, just an eighth note. And then you have the fermata on the A. I'm just going to add that. Well, we're in 6/8 time, and that gets 3 counts, so I'll just add 3 more counts onto it. And then you have the B, D. Connect those. And then the D, F sharp, C. And the last line is 2-1. And down here. And the left hand crosses over for the last note, the G. And that's the way that works. There's other ways of fingering it. That's fine. We'll use their fingering. It works. So work it out one hand at a time. And then when you think you've got it, one hand at a time, attempt to put the hands together. And you've got to go really, really slow here. You got to make sure you're holding all the notes down at the right length. You see that F sharp and the left hand is tied over. And then lift up. And we have an eighth rest in the right hand at the end of the line. When you hear that, notice in all these measures that I'm holding that note down. It's important you hold that down. And we have rests in the left hand. Make sure you lift up on the rests. Get these slurs just right in here. It adds to the music. So the third line down, second measure is here. And hold on to that, and then go on. Slow down. Die away. Real softly. So you get the hands working together, and then you can go back and try and add the dynamics. I did a little bit then, but it starts out soft. You decide how soft is it. That's the melody that's soft. And then make everything else softer. And then we crescendo up to the D. Come back down. Crescendo again. And then come back down. Crescendo again. And then come back down. You're getting these swells in here, and we exaggerate them at first so you can feel them, and then you can go back and take the exaggeration out. So make sure you get in the swells. All in all, this first part is softly and gentle. That's it. You get down to the fourth line. Now it's medium loud going into the second measure. At the top of page 55, you're going to get the swells again, but you're starting medium loud. Poco rit, slow down a little bit. Now you're back to soft again. Hang on to that. Now we're medium loud. And then you come down to soft. And then retard and very soft and have, you know. So you get all that worked out. Then we add the pedal. Oh boy, let's talk about the pedal. Again, they're keeping it simple. You want to pedal it the way they're showing, it's up to you. I find it mushy. I like to hear the phrasing and I want to take out some of the mushiness. So I'm going to suggest an alternate pedaling here. At the beginning, when I get to the last 3 eighth notes in that first full measure here, I'm going to lift the pedal up for those. I don't want to smear those. I don't want to hear that. So I'm going to lift the pedal up for there and then put it down afterward. So it's this way. And then put it down out in there. And I'm going to lift it up when I play the F sharp. After I play the F sharp. Because I want to connect them. And I'm not going to put it down again until the next measure. I want to hear a break in the phrase here. So it's, and then the next measure is pedaled the same as the first line full measure. And at the last measure of the second line, I'm going to lift the pedal up with the right hand so I can hear a rest. Here. And then in the next line, I will pedal similarly to what I've done these other measures. I don't want to smear the last 3 eighth notes, but I can pedal the rest of it. And then the next measure again. Basically, I'm pedaling the first 3 beats, but not the last 3 beats on most of these. But then in the third line last measure, I'm not pedaling any of that. And then the fourth line is fine. But I'm lifting the pedal up with the right hand F sharp because I want to hear a break in the phrase between the F sharp and the D. And again, on these measures, I'm only pedaling the first 3 beats of each measure. Because I want to hear a break in the phrase and I don't want to smear the eighth notes. At the end of the page there, I'm lifting the pedal up with the right hand. I want to hear a break in the phrase before I play the last eighth note. So here. Now you can go ahead and pedal that eighth note if you want and connect it to the next C. This is the same one. That's okay if you want to do that. And then top of page 55, second measure, I don't pedal that. And next line, I'll pedal the first 3 beats. And then I lift, at the end of the second line, I lift the pedal up with both hands now because the left hand gets a rest. And I hear a break in the phrase, and then it's like it is at the beginning. And here I'm pedaling with the slurs. I want to hear the slurs. Or don't pedal at all. Because to me it's more important to hear the slurs than it is to hear all these notes. No, I wouldn't pedal that. Just pedal the first 3 beats of the third line, second measure. Those. And then lift it up on that D after you play the D. And then don't pedal anymore. And then here, go on. We want to hear a break in the phrase. Now you can pedal this, but don't pedal this. And then the last line is fun. At the end, let the key come up first, and then slowly lift the pedal up and let the sound die away. Or if you're on an electronic piano and can't do that, then you reach up and turn the volume slowly down and let the sound die away. Whatever. It's a beautiful piece.